Hello everyone, my name is Terry Bennett and I am the community pastor with Leaders Following Christ, and I get the opportunity today to present our monthly pastor circle entitled Honoring the House While Finding Your Voice. You see, this discussion is primarily geared towards youth pastors, but it also can be applied to those who are in secondary leadership, such as associate pastors, department heads, and even ministry leads. So let's dive in. In Habakkuk 2 and 3, the Lord is speaking to Habakkuk and he says, "Write my vision plainly on tablets so that a runner can carry the correct message to others." This message is for a future time. It describes the end and it will be fulfilled. You see, this passage reminds us that God's vision should be clear and faithfully carried without distortion, okay? But it still requires runners and voices to carry it in their own stride and in their own voice. You see, vision is all about God, what he wants, not human interventions, not human views. It's all about God. It's all about his will, his way, and his word. You see, it's his plan. Proverbs 19:21 is clear. It states that many are the plans in a man's heart, but it's God's plan or for provision that prevails. I like to look at this like this. The way to vision, though it doesn't always feel good, it develops our character and produces more responsibility in us and for us. Which leads me to my first point. We must submit to vision before we speak to vision. Hebrews 13:17 says, "Obey your leaders and submit to them." And here's the principle. Humility positions your voice to be heard and, most importantly, trusted by leadership. Submission results in more authority. When we steward humility well, we are honored to receive more. So how does this apply? First, I'd like to say we need to seek clarity from your senior leadership or leadership about the vision and the heartbeat of the ministry. You have to seek clarity. You have to ask questions. You have to make sure that what you're carrying out in your department is the vision of the house. Be vocal about your support in public and prayerful about your questions in private. This is major because you never vent down to the people that serve under you. You vent up, first to God and then to your leadership. So remember that. Be vocal about your support in public and prayerful about your questions in private. Understand, this is the third application, understand the difference between echoing a message and carrying it with a personal fire. Oh my God. You see, you don't want to just sound like your leadership, act like your leadership. No, what you want is to have this desire to be the same passion, to have the same passion as your leadership, so that when you communicate and when you speak to those that you serve, that serve under you, right, they hear the same voice as your pastor. Point 2, let your voice reflect God's unique assignment on your life. And this can be difficult because sometimes we don't know what our giftings are. We don't know just how God has wired us. But 1 Corinthians 12:18 says this, "But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them, just as he wants them to be." So that means that we have to find what our unique and distinct assignment and our gifting, our divine purpose, so to speak, looks like in the eyes of God. So a divine purpose or your voice is not a threat when it flows from alignment. When you understand, and I'll rhyme right here, when you understand your assignment, you are in line or there's an alignment to the vision, all right? That's the principle, and here's some practical ways that you can apply this principle, and that is Know your God-given wiring. Romans chapter 12, verses, I think it's like 6, 7, 8, right in the beginning of those chapters, it says that there are 7 different gifts of how we are wired. Now, there's many other gifts, but these are foundational gifts that will teach us a good understanding of how we are wired. And we must use our personality and our experiences and creativity to lead people. Again, this is exactly how we are wired. So when we use our gifts, when we use our personality, when we use our experiences, when we use our creativity to lead people, we stay aligned with the vision of the house. You have to make sure that these giftings that you have stay aligned with the vision of the house that you're serving in, the leadership that you're serving under. Another application that I would suggest is embrace your spiritual gifts to complement and not compete with the overall vision. All right? That's a good one. Develop your leadership style under the umbrella of a shared vision. Yeah, you have to make sure that the leadership understands your gifting and how you're wired so that you can develop your unique leadership style under that vision. That's alignment. Finally, point 3, communicate consistently with your leaders and your team. Amos 3:3 states, "Can 2 walk together unless they agree?" You see, the principle here is unity is not uniformity, it's an intentional alignment. In Acts on the day of Pentecost, they all were on one accord, total agreement for one cause, waiting on the Spirit of God to come. With intentional alignment or agreement, we receive greater results. And we can apply this principle like this. Regularly update your leaders on what's happening in the ministry you lead. You just can't not report to those that are in leadership. You have to make sure that what you are actually implementing in your department, in the area that you lead, lines up with the vision. Here's the thing though. You have to welcome the feedback and adjust when needed without insecurity. Leadership has the right to go in another direction. That's just the nature of the business. The leadership has the right to go in another direction. But here's what I would love to say to that. And we, as those who are serving under leadership, get the privilege to go with them. That's a great revelation. Finally, the third application is cultivate a team culture that respects the house while innovating within your own lane. In conclusion, I like to say that in every house, God places both a vision and voices. A vision and voices. Not only voices, but he has runners as well. As youth leaders, as youth pastors, as secondary leaders, our first call is to honor what God has established. That means embracing the vision of the house, not out of obligation, but out of revelation. But honoring doesn't mean erasing who you are. And God has created us uniquely. So it doesn't mean that you have to erase or diminish who you are. You don't have to mute your message or your voice to carry the mission. You don't have to lose your sound to stay in step. Your voice matters, but your alignment is what gives it power. Wow. So lead loud, serve faithfully, preach creatively, and stay submitted. Because when your voice walks in step with the house vision, hear this now, and I'll repeat this. When your voice walks in step with the house vision, heaven's favor walks with you. Thank you for being a part of Leaders Following Christ and our monthly Pastor Circle. Our team, Pastor Matt and myself, look forward to connecting with you through a call that we believe will support your efforts. Many of your questions can be answered, help through challenges from life, family, and ministry. Just simply click on the the link below, which is book a call and schedule time with us. We look forward to hearing from you. God bless you. We love you. Goodbye.